Good morning. Welcome to FYI. Welcome. How are you folks doing? Folks, it's Wednesday, the 11th of January already. Believe it or not, Wednesday, the 11th day of January. Yep. That's where we are. The time is rushing by, and we hope that you guys are working hard. We hope that you guys are pushing towards some of those goals and aspirations that you have. Chevron McDonald, is it so? Do tell us, is it so, Chevron, and all the other guys who are joining us? Is it so? Or are we wrong? Do tell us. You all guys pressing forward? We got to press forward, folks. No chinks in. We got to press forward. Let's just keep moving. Pace and power. We ain't dressing down, you know. We ain't going down. We ain't dressing down. We ain't going back. It's forward ever. Forward movements, folks. Forward movements. Guys, I really hope that you are pressing towards some of those goals, some of those aims and objectives. You know how, your aspirations, your pursuits. Hope that you guys are going after some of those things and you're not allowing anybody to hold you back. Don't do it. Don't allow anybody to hold you back. Joan Rigby, we see you there. Fair Lion and all the other folks. Welcome to FYI. We are so happy that you guys are here with us. Welcome, folks. For your information, we got a couple of things. For your information, we got a couple of things to share with you guys. Share the live, you know how we do it. Smash that emoji button. Don't come wrong funny. Don't do it. Don't come wrong with funny. Good to see you. Is it Jai Chan, Steve Wahid? Good to have you, Jai Chan. Fair Lion, Credit Clark, Ayabo, Natasha Congraves, Karen Black. Good to have each and every one of you. I see you there. Terry Ann Grenville. Terry Ann, how are you doing? Good to have you, Terry Ann. And all the other folks who are joining us, like Loretta Argyle. Good to see each and every one of you good people. Good to see you all. Isabella Butters. Good to see you too, Isabella. Karen Black, Loretta Argyle, Siobhan McDonald, Jolly Anderson, all the Andersons who are going to come. All the Andersons who are going to come. Look who showed up early today. Candidaline Inderjit. Candidaline Inderjit is here, folks. Well, you all know what that means. You all know what that means, folks. The kid's gone up early. Mark in the corner. Marky in the corner. We happy. In the corner quietly. Yep. Great to have you, folks, wherever you are joining us from. Wherever you all are joining us from this morning. Welcome. Pull up a cup of something with us, good folks. Pull up a cup of something. We got a cup of black coffee here. And as they say, piping hot. Folks, I make a good cup of coffee. Why you all know that? I make a good cup of coffee. When people come by me and they drink the coffee, they don't want to go home, you know. That's why I don't invite a lot of people over. Yeah. Same thing happened with the girl from Barbados. Come by me, drink the little coffee. She ain't got home since. She went home since Evelina she ain't come back yet. She's still about Stanboard, good to have you. Sheila Boyd-Child, good to have you as well. Isabella Butters, Anthony Jarvis. I like how Stanbourne says good morning. MP Sherrod. MP. Thanks for reminding me. Folks, Monday is Parliament. Thanks for reminding me. Monday's budget day. The 16th. We're going to be following along with that. Bringing you guys the latest. Louisa Wills, good to have you there. Donna Joseph, Ayabo, Natasha. Yeah. Ayabo says coffee tea. That's the thing, coffee tea. You know, you like your tea, black tea, your Milo tea, however you like your tea, folks. We agree with you. Debbie Collins, Stanbourne, Isabel. Good to see you, folks. Vashti Magnot, if Vashti's here, report right next door listening in. Sabina Jacobs, good to have you. Laverne Joseph, good to have you. I haven't seen Selena for a little bit. Selena Fraser. Selena, how are you doing? Maybe you're watching quietly. Maybe you're listening to us in the background, Selena. We are happy to have you, Selena, and all the folks who join us from Canada, whether Waterloo, Ontario, Victoria, wherever in Canada you're joining us from. We're happy to have you, and those folks who are in North America, folks, in Region 11, diaspora generally. Those persons joining us from Queens, New York, Brooklyn, whichever borough you're joining us from, guys. We're happy you're here. Those of you who are out further, some of you are in Jersey, some of you are in the Carolinas, way out. Good to have each and every one of you folks. Irwin Don Cook, I see you there, Irwin and Beryl Crawford. Good to have you folks here with us. We got a lot of things to talk about. A lot of things. Quite a few things, folks. Quite a few things making the morning papers. I know some of you probably listening us on your way to work, on your way home. In between, you're heading in, you're in. Some of you in work and taking a peep, taking a listen. A lot of things people go through in the mornings, you know, to get out to work ain't easy. Ain't easy in this country. Got so much of potholes, so much of this, so much of that, Stacey and Stone, to deal with. You know, we saw some of that recently. We showed you guys on our program last evening what happened with the roads in some places. It's real horrible. We got another one to point out this morning. We're hoping to get the authorities' attention on. They seem to be distracted, you know. They seem to be distracted by a lot of things, and we don't understand why. Why all the distraction? They feel, oh, you're like, I'll come to work with jacket every day. I like it. I like the warmth. The warmth. Sean of Fortune and out front parts. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening in this place. A whole host of money, Monday's budget, they're coming back for more. And you can hear, biggest budget ever. Biggest budget ever on how the economy flourishing. Far from the truth. Far from the truth. Very far from the truth. But we're happy to have you folks, Valerie Wilson and Elizabeth Howard. I ain't seen Elizabeth Narain a little bit in the comments. Elizabeth Narain, yes, from the Carolinas. Cecile Ogle, good to have you. Pinky Kaur, Ayabo Natasha, Winella Garnett. If anybody see Elizabeth Narain, tell her, wanted. Wanted by the FYI crew. Cecile, good to have you. Good to have you, Cecile. Cecile says that the girl drinking coffee and still there by you. She ain't leaving until death to you part. It's true. It's true. That's the strength in the coffee. Cecile, that's the strength in the coffee. I make a good cup of tea. You know, I make a good cup of tea. Yeah. A good cup of tea. See? I hear Stacey and Soul says, Judy business for a long time because I make your tea. That's the problem. You know, I make you a cup of tea, share while I leave the show. You see that? Folks, you're going to see Juita in good stead. Right? She's doing well. I saw Juita yesterday, day before yesterday, I think it was. Yeah. Ever see a girl glowing? You know when people in love, there's go missing for a little bit. If you see a girl glowing, I say you're well rested. I like how she come along. Well rested, folks. I like it. Sometimes you just need rest, you know. You just need rest, you know. Folks, sometimes you just need rest. You see, and that's what we use the weekend for. We told you guys we're not going to have anything on the weekends unless we have to. We take the weekend, we rest, and we start prepping. That's how it's rest. Start prepping for the new week. The things we're going to cover, you know, the things we're going to cover and such and so forth. Start streamlining things. But then just rest. Do nothing. You know, we're always on the clock. And then when something happens, is them boys getting all the money, the doctors and the physicians and so on. You know, I'm due for a little while now. I want to go and do a full medical. Right? At my tender age, I want a full medical. I gotta pick up back on my running. I haven't been running as much as I used to. Somebody saw me the other day and say, you put on a little bit. You put on a little bit. You know, some people got a conscience. They even know what kind of day you having. You put on a little bit. Right? But I just blame COVID. It's COVID fat. When in doubt, Warren Figueroa. Right? When in doubt, blame COVID. Warren is adding something to our discussion, folks. Warren Figueroa out there in Long Island is adding to this discussion on the issue of Jurita, R.E., right? With reference to Jurita, he's asking if it's not her little one. And drink some tea, right? I can drink some tea. Mama! I can drink some tea. This indictable. Oh. Next thing you see, Jurita some photographs. That's how you do it. You know? Yeah. We're expecting. Oh, Father. I'm not saying I cannot confirm nor deny. Let me put it in that way. I cannot confirm nor deny, right, the current status. Right? Morning, neighbor. Morning, neighbor. Old fun parts. Morning. Guys, we cannot confirm nor deny. What we can tell you, we got a lot of things in the morning papers today. Quite a few things, good folks. Quite a few things in the morning papers on our side we want to get to. Quite a few things. A lot. A lot in the morning papers. People dealing with a lot of things, in this country. A lot of things people dealing with. Right? Don't think it's fun. A lot of things. Folks, wherever you're joining us from. Oh. People dealing with a lot of things, a lot of story in this country. We got share and expose as we head into the morning papers, good folks. Share and expose. People dealing with a lot in the 592. A lot, and we showed you some right now, some in this country. Some part in this country, somebody going through hell, just trying to get to work on the roads. The potholes, you name it. The potholes and so on, you name it. People going through a lot. Share and expose, folks. Share and expose. As we head into the morning paper. Share and expose the truth. Notice anything we share and exposing. We sharing and exposing the truth. The truth is hard to come by these days, the chancellor acting, we don't have a substantive chancellor, 17 years now. We don't have a substantive chief justice, 17 plus years now. The chancellor spoke some truth yesterday. Share and expose the truth. Share and expose the truth. That's what we want you guys to do. Share and expose the truth. Cecile and Stacey Ann, Isabella, Gwyneth, Ingrid, Jim Moore. Share and expose the truth. Simo George and all the other guys who are joining us. Look, yesterday we saw some people trying to get to work, and it's horrific. Horrific. The conditions of the roads in some places. Really horrific, folks. Take a look at some of what people are going through. This is Melanie, for instance, school children. Gonna traverse this road in Melanie. Take a look, guys, and take a listen.
Well, good morning. I have two kids going to the school, and for the longest while, what is place here, sir? What is place? The longest while. This is May 26, nursery school in Melanie. Watch. What is place? This is shameful, but this is shame. It's real messed up, but this is real messed up, buddy. This was the guy in school train going to school in. And a small children too. What they say? This is nice. This is nice, buddy. What is the old street there like this? The old street actually there like this. What? This is in front of school. This is in front of nursery school. Watch, people got a vehicle come through. Watch. And by the corner there, got two big holes by the car now. Your vehicle bottom getting dig up.
What is bothering me is that you got some folks who are in that right now. I know some folks further up north, Warren and the other guys there, you're up north. You ain't got them kind of worries, but right now, somebody not trying to get your kids to school, you there done vex, You wake up nice, you do your devotion, and then you head outside. And you got to confront all that muck and mud and misery to get your kids off to school. You understand why some co-workers coming to work vexed? You would tell your bourgeois self, say, good morning, don't tell me nothing. It's not good morning. You understand? That could trip your whole day up, Trip your whole day up. Just like that, folks. And then we saw, some folks showed us Providence. Because Melanie is up the East Coast where we first showed you there. Providence. It begs the question, Where the oil money going? You can hear all week next week and the week after that. Biggest budget ever. Biggest budget ever. Biggest budget ever. But biggest budget ever doing what? This is what I want to know. Biggest budget ever doing, what are we doing with the biggest budget ever? Some folks going through this right now, trying to get to work. Red Road in Providence. Take a look, folks.
Right here. The more video too. Because I don't understand. Good morning, Facebook viewers. This is Red Road, where we have to travel. I don't know if they said they want to sell car parts or vehicle parts. But apparently it is where we got to go through morning, noon, and night. The construction of the new road, and I don't know if they don't know they have to put up these potholes. But the cars can't pass, and there's all the traffic be built up every morning. All because somebody decided that they feel or they see fit to throw some stuff in the pothole there.
Yep. Can you imagine trying to get to work through that? You're vexed. You're vexed. And then you might got some people at the back of you just blowing. Some people at the back of you just blowing. Vanilla Garnet, Larry Crawford, Laverne Joseph, Annette Cummins. Some folks at the back of you just blowing. Kick, 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 kick. Right? Because they think you bought a vehicle, you can just drive through all the pothole. I know what I'm talking about. You can just drive through all the pothole. And the question is, where the oil money going? Last budget, last year this time, 552 point something billion, not cents, dollars, $billion, 552.9 I think it was. And then they came back at least 3 times to the National Assembly since then for more money. So last year's budget probably totaled $1 trillion. Terrence Hodge, Ayabo, Annette, Larry, probably total $1 trillion. Where the money going? Where the money going? That's the question. That is the $1 million question. Where the money going, good folks? Where the money going? Well, people want to know. People want to know where the money going. First up in the morning papers, folks. First up, we're looking at. You see? I can tell you all this is what they're going to focus on. Fastest growing economy. We're heading into the budget period, so that's what I keep seeing all the time. Fastest growing economy. Get to sustain double-digit growth. Tell the people down there in Red Road, Providence, in School Road in Melanie. Tell them about the double-digit growth. Let's do this with black coffee, yeah? Tell them about the double-digit growth down there. With them roads. You can't carry that to the shop. When I go in the shop man, more thinking about double-digit growth because the people who own some of the businesses think like you experiencing the double-digit growth with the prices on some of the items. Some places got good bargains, some places got good deal. When you see the prices on some of the items, look, I was in Andrew Supermarket in South Randolph, and I asked about a dishwashing liquid, and I was amazed at the price. It was very, very reasonable. Right? You have a smallish looking one for $6 something, and then one look like it's for industrial dishes. I see for just $900 a second. Take this big one here. The bottles so big, I feel like I even got to buy for the rest of the year. Huge for $900 and good, brand name dishwashing liquid. I said I got come back by Andrews steady. I got a pass back by Andrews in Southman, right by Festival City, is it? And so I got a pass back by Andrews. You see? Second class I should buy but 3. Just in case. But the prices I find the prices they're generally reasonable. But some other places, then people think you got this double-digit growth in your pocket, Winston, good luck. Lover and Joseph, Chisel Chipper, they feel you got this double-digit growth in your pocket when you see some other business jacking up the prices for the Wagyu and the Wagmi and the Wag them. But you're seeing this, but you ain't feeling it. You ain't feeling it in your pocket, and some folks too shame to talk the truth. You know, there's one businessman, another businessman who plays I patronize. He said to me, his colleagues just come in. And the shame, because they used to cost the last government. And it comments, Nadia Barrow, they used to abuse out. Oh, money circulating on the Granger. He said, the shame now. The shame now. Better the devil you know. That's a bad cliche. That's a bad cliche. Better the devil you know. What these monies, I can bring this show live from Andrew's supermarket and just show you some of the prices. It's reasonable things. I'm going back. I say I had the time. When I tell you guys, rest is important. I feel like I'm always on the go. I don't have the time to really peruse the aisles. Wanda Hudson, Isabella, Derek Massey, Onika Light. I don't have time to really peruse the aisle, you know. You got 2 hours to spare, just walking through looking at prices. It was in out. You grab the little dishwashing liquid and so on, and you beat out quick. Does it double-digit growth? It's in your pocket. I'm happy the folks at Andrew's supermarket understand that. I'm happy to understand that. Right? And that this thing in every pocket, and they're going like, you know, some people trying to make like they got a 300% markup on some items. That's a Ponzi scheme. That's a get-rich-quick scheme. They ain't gonna last long. The deal, it ain't last long. Paro Bob, it ain't gonna last long. Larry Crawford, that's a get-rich-quick scheme. But this is one of the headlines, folks. We're tracking in the morning paper. This whole issue about this double-digit growth. I don't know what that means. Double digits. Well, hope it's going nice for you. Double digits. That's what them boys going off over. Double-digit growth. Yeah. Then you got this other one here now. COVID. We tell you guys, COVID is real. It's still with us, folks. Folks, we got to be careful out there. And Jerry, you're behaving yourself. You wear your mask and so on. Wanda and Raymond Jones. You're wearing your mask and so on. You know, to the Chisholms in Sophia. Good morning to you, folks. All the Chisholms watching us. Please and thank you. Right. Hermesa, good morning to you. Respect and manners to the Chisholms from Sophia. Good to have you folks on today. Hermesa especially. Respect and manners. Respect and manners. Isabella, we got to continue to observe all of the COVID-19 protocols. You know, there's another strain that's out, another variant. Again, every other variant is the deadliest. I don't see this government making too much fuss about it. Sadly, not making too much fuss about it, but they're telling us overnight, a 65-year-old from Region 4, a 65-year-old from Region 4 succumbed to COVID-19, folks. 65-year-old from Region 4 succumbed. I'm trying to make sure I got my notes there. Yeah, from Region 4. Very, very sad indeed. And, you know, that's just one of the things, guys, we're following on the morning papers today. Just one of the things. He's 65 years old from Region 4. The ministry said the death toll is now 1,291. 1,291. And there were 58 new cases as of yesterday. Just checking in on my notes. 58 cases as of yesterday. Colleen Skeet, Rhonda Gordon, Nicolite, Beatrice Selby, Michelle Justice, we got to exercise caution. You sanitize, you wear your mask, you social distance, please. Right? And you all got your vaccines. They're telling us every 6 months you got to get another boost. You know, I took this Sputnik. I happen to take the Sinopharm because the folks are now saying the efficacy on Sinopharm, right? It's nonsense. That's why you're seeing COVID running rampage in China as they try to open up now because the thing didn't work. So I happy I didn't take Sinopharm. I went with Sputnik. I had a choice. Right? You remember the sheep with the Sputnik? Well, we're waiting for something on that. I hope it's nothing untoward with that now. You remember the sheik? Dalmud Al Maktoum? Yeah, he selling by Sputnik. Sputnik, they selling for 20 US. He selling for 18, then buys buy. Yeah, the fellow come with a big jet from Saudi Arabia, one of them places in the Middle East. Big fancy jet, and rob them. Big fancy jet, he went from someplace and robbed them. Talking about fancy jet, I see Irfan fly out to India. Luxury jet, man. Y'all money large, that's why them roads looking the way they're looking. Y'all money tall, that is why the roads looking how they're looking, because focus on the wrong things. Focus on the wrong things, but folks, continue all your precautions where COVID-19 is concerned. Please and thank you. All of your precautions where COVID-19 is concerned. Also following in the morning papers today, guys. More headlines. This is actually a letter we saw to the editor by Shamshun Mohammed, a frequent, prolific letter writer. You see what vocabulary? Vocabulary in 2023. He got up, get my dictionaries from us. Oh, still got my dictionary, folks. Prolific letter writer Shamshun Mohammed complained of a sewage problem at his property in Albijang. Right? Complained of a sewage problem, and GWI, the sewage people, sewage and water folks, create a fuss. They don't like when you talk for your rights, That's what I find with authorities. They don't like when you talk for your rights. And take a sip of my coffee. This coffee needed like a bagel. You remember my bushy self. Yeah, my bushy pretensive self. This coffee needed like a bagel to carry down. Yeah. They don't like when once you pointing out Penelope Grant, Lennox Anderson, how these folks can improve the system, they like you, Public enemy number one. And I find recently, Shamshun Mohammed has been very critical. It's not only so long you can pretend you didn't see what happened in this country, Linda Blair, Anna Phillips, it's only so long you can pretend you're not seeing. Right? It's sewage overflowing everywhere. You just pick up the papers, Ryan Figuera. It's full sewage country. Well, the Vex, he wrote in the papers initially the problem he was experiencing. They write back. He said since then, he writes again. He says since then, problem remains unresolved. Think them by scale. Right? If you spend the taxpayers' money the right way, you won't get fancy jet to fly to India. Right? You won't get fancy jet to fly to India. If taxpayers' money spend the right way, Wanda Hudson, pay for it. If the taxpayers' money in this country spend the right way, them boys would not have money to fly, private jet. If you see the luxury, man, jacuzzi, there's about 15 of them on this private jet. You got 45 staff. Yeah, them boys travel to India like sultans, better than sultans. But the sewage problem for Shamshun persists. But the sewage problem for a lot of us persists. For a lot of us. We don't concern about those, I would say like those are the peripherals, the back end of the system. You have a computer system like you watching us on your phone and so on. You don't do concern what happening in the background. Once you see something on the screen, you see? But Shamshun is saying that on the screen. See, lashing the device with a letter. You lashing the device. You want it fixed. But them boys more interested in what? In photo ops. The last thing they want is Shamshun Mohammed writing about sewage in Albertown. And they talk about double-digit growth in the economy. Why Shamshun want kind of people off message? Double-digit growth in the economy, talking about sewage problem. It's a shitty situation. But that's it. That's it. We can't lie to you. That's how it's rolling, folks. That's how it's rolling. That's how things going. Look at the headline we're seeing, folks, in the morning papers today. Remember that firewoman, Region 6, hit down that young child in Region 6. Well, how's it going for us? No charges yet. Some folks are on that, and they're telling us still no charges yet for that firewoman in Region 6 who hit down that young child. They said she was driving under the influence, placed on $100,000 bail. Believe it or not, no charges as yet. According to one report, I'm trying to update myself on there, it says, you know what? You know what the report says? They're waiting on advice. Like, you're under the influence, right? You knock down somebody. I thought there was a law for that. I don't know. You have to ask advice whether to apply the law or not. Right? Some folks allege, you know, I was obstructing traffic along with the mayor. Some folks allege, you know, what you said, racial incitement. Nobody asked for advice and waiting long before we were charged. Next day, folks, I with my fast self got a call that police were heading down to detain the mayor. And so I went to cover it. True story. Warren out front part. People say it's a drugs jet. Well, all of that, they gone India on. So I went to cover, you know, make sure you guys get valid, credible information. Police were going to detain the mayor. As soon as I walk in the mayor's office, I say, police, turn around and watch me. He said, Mr. Duncan, I said, President. He said, you under arrest, just like that. The thing went just like that. I went to cover the mayor being detained so the world could see the kind of regime we got in this country. Soon as I walked through the door, they said, Duncan, you under arrest. Yeah, that's how it went down. But this firewoman, who every report says was under the influence, still waiting. Wanda Hudson, Charlene Juice, Larry Crawford, on advice. The police waiting on advice. Yep, and that child is dead and gone. And they said in the report, the family they're having difficulties. I think that's what it says. They're finding it difficult to manage. You lost somebody like that. So one so young and beloved of the family, and lost that child on Cumberland Public Road. Police, the fire service woman is yet to face any charges. Can you imagine that? Folks, our children is really we treasure. You know, the good book says they're a heritage from the Father. Blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them. I got 3. I don't know if that's full, but it feels full to me. Right? And you know what it is. When I go home and my son, Saint Zane, when Saint kiss you, Father, all the problems you went home with melt away. You know, you think about the people there in Red Road, Providence. You think about School Road in Melanie, and all the difficulties people face in this country each and every day. New child kiss you and you chicks it. You forget about it for a little bit. You forget about it for a little bit. Now, that family there in Region 6, they've lost that, you know, the joy. They've lost it. They said, we're finding it difficult to manage. find it difficult to manage. I don't want to know what that's like. I can imagine it. I can imagine it. I can imagine it. My big son, John Pierre, lives overseas now. He get big. Lives overseas. And that's one of the hardest decisions I've had to make as a parent. But I know where he is, and I can call him. I can go and see him. He can come. He came for a week during summer. But I know where he is, and I can be in touch with him. That was one of the hardest decisions I had to make as a parent. Right? Letting him go so he could become. I don't want to know what the pain that family facing. And then you got some people in a justice system who say they're waiting on advice. Right? Regional vice chair in Region 6 as well hit down and killed a pedestrian. Still waiting on advice from the DPP about 2.5 years now. Still waiting. You got the Region 9 REO, whatever his name is, shot a woman, shot a young woman, in her stomach, in her belly. They said she had to cut a piece of her intestines in the surgery to save her life. They're waiting on advice. Still, that was over a year ago. They're still waiting on advice. You got the projects inspector, projects officer there at Ministry of Finance. Right? Ministry of Finance, Mr. Balgobin. Right? Knocked down young Babishan. And it's easy for me to call these things. I went to school with Mr. Balgobin's daughter. She's deceased now. God rest her soul. She herself was involved in a massive accident. She was on assignment for the Ministry of Agriculture coming out from the interior. Herself and husband. Famala was a beautiful, beautiful soul. We shared a few classes at the university together. But right is right and wrong is wrong. Still waiting on advice. People lose young child. And all I could tell you is they're waiting on advice. You understand why we got the problems we got in this country? And we're going to talk about the justice system later on for the big issue because it's in a real problems. You understand where we are? Waiting for advice. No charges as yet. That's what they tell us. No charges as yet for the 5 women and 6. No charges as yet. More in the morning papers, folks. More watching us. Yep. While you got all the problems people facing with infrastructure. What got Edge's attention? The Harbour Bridge put out a notice recently. They said when you're visiting us, when you're visiting our offices, don't come dressed anyhow. Don't come with no vest. Don't come with no short pants. You hear? Don't come like that. Right? No vest and no short pants. Dress properly. No slippers. Well, the headline says, Edgel orders removal of the Demara Harbour Bridge no vest, no slippers policy, dress code. He tore it down. Come as you are. Well, however you want, come. However you want to come. Right? He orders, I wish he would order the fixing of the road there in Melanie, the fixing of the road there in Providence, with the same kind of speed. Let it upset you the same way. When you see how people got to traverse in this country of ours, no vest, no short pants, no slippers. Imagine is that you're attacking. Wanda Hudson, I want to imagine is those issues he's attacking. The short pants road in Providence or Melanie, an order that those roads be fixed. Let me alleviate some of the problems, the burdens, the citizens in this country go through each and every day. each and every day, folks, as we try to find a way to live, to exist, each and every day. And those are a couple of the things, folks, we're following this morning in the morning papers. Share the live, smash that emoji button for us. We're about to head into what's brewing, folks, internationally, regionally, and locally. More things locally. Yeah, I think, your time we finished, huh? More things brewing locally. Share the live, folks. We got hundreds of you who tuned in to us, and we're so grateful. We're so humbled by that. Hundreds of you tuned in to our morning program. Onessa Wardin, we see you. John Johnson and Rhonda Gordon. Hundreds of you. Warren Forgiver says all flights are grounded in the U.S. Right? There's a FAA computer outage. Who knew? Who knew? We got to find out if that's a cyber attack happening. Thanks, Warren, for that update. Right? I think that's the Federal Aviation Authority, FAA, computer outage. Flights down in the U.S. Flights down in the U.S. Share the live, folks. Smash that emoji. But let's head into some of what good folks happening internationally, regionally, folks. Things that are brewing. Things that are brewing. I think that's where we're moving in from. Things that are brewing. We got a couple of things, folks, brewing internationally. A couple of things brewing in the region. A couple of things brewing also locally. We think you guys all know about. This is where we're starting, folks. We're in the brew. We're in the brew. We're in the brew. A few things brewing, bubbling up. Bubbling up, folks. We think you guys all know about, and we are happy that Warren started us by letting us know that they got a computer outage and flights are down in the US currently. Thanks to that outage, we're in the brew, good folks. We're in the brew. This morning as well, folks, in Paris. In Paris. In Paris. There was an attack on the subway there. A man wielding they call it a bladed weapon. I want to get it right. I want to get the phrase in. They didn't say knife. They didn't say knife, and I don't want to lie in the folks. They didn't say knife. I ain't want to lie in them. They said, I think that's what they said, a bladed. I want to get the phrase in right. I think they said a bladed weapon. Trust the French. It's a knife. It's a knife attack. And they said he stabbed at least 6 persons. And the police managed to detain him. He was shot in the process, they're telling us. This knife attack, he said he was shot in the process. Shot in the process, folks. It's a wild world out there. And again, what we saw is that police are crediting the saving of a lot of lives here. The saving of a lot of lives to the quick response. We saw that. To the quick response, guys, of the police. They're crediting lives saved here to the quick response of the police. Well, you know, in other places, things might have ended that way, right? But again, these folks are highly trained, and they're always on the alert, watching for mischief. Watching for mischief. You know, you deal with some people, you got mischief. They have been watching, preparing, they run drills and so on. They ain't playing, you know. They ain't playing. They understand what they're doing, right? And they ain't got to work. These people have careers, they have jobs. They understand what they're doing, and they're helping to protect the citizens there. 6 wounded. They said no motive. You know, they don't know what started the fellow on the rampage that he was on. But 6 wounded, the suspect has been shot. Yeah. That's how the folks started the day in Paris. Right? That's how they started the day in Paris. 6, they tell us, 6 persons. 6 persons were stabbed. Quick response of the police helped. Now this is, folks, Brazil. Remember the big upheaval they had there, the storming of the High Court in Brazil, the storming of other buildings and so on. Well, they have arrested so far over 1,500 persons. In relation to that, about 1,500 persons were arrested thus far in Brazil. And then the ex-justice minister, a court has ordered his arrest. The ex-justice minister, Mr. Torres, the court has ordered his arrest. This is Anderson Torres, former justice minister, and he recently became the, he became former justice minister, and he recently took over as public security chief for Brasilia. Their political system obviously operates different than ours. Because you all know here, when you're out, you're out. But from justice minister, he went on to security chief for Brasilia, and they have ordered his arrest. I think he's vacationing as well in Florida. That seems to be the choice spots. The choice spot of Brazil's former officials, the choice spot. And that's one of the things brewing. Another fellow is also wanted there. He is Fabio Augusto Vera, and he is the head of Brazil's military police. He's also wanted in connection to some of that upheaval that we saw. Right? Some of that mayhem that we saw. So you got Anderson Torres, former justice minister, and now you got the Brazil's military police chief, Fabio Augusto Vera. He's also wanted by the authorities in relation to some of that upheaval that we saw there. Right next door. And that's one of the things, folks. Brewing! One of the things brewing. Right? One of the things brewing. And that was brewing in the region. And now locally, folks. Locally in the 592. In the 592, you know, there's no place like home. In the 592, we got a lot of things brewing here, so too. Quite a few things brewing. Good people in the 592. A couple things brewing at our end, folks, in the 592. So don't let me come off on these people in know-how. We got our own problems, our own story. Quite a few things brewing, they tell us, in the 592. And we were preempting a little bit there to tell you there's this one that we're following up on. This whole issue of this DJ that was chopped. You know, every license the year start is every chopping story. Since the year has started, folks, chopping. And this is the one we were preempting earlier on. Well, the crime chief said several arrested following the chopping death of DJ Viper. The chopping death of DJ Viper. His name is Brian Pitam. His real name, Brian Pitam. DJ Viper worked with Kaitro News, according to some of the reports. And this happened at Luluni on the highway. It happened at Luluni on the highway, and Pitam was trying to be a hero, apparently. He was trying to be a hero. Brian Pitam, known as DJ Viper. Unfortunately, he said his father-in-law was drinking at some establishment there at Luluni, and some men began hitting him. Hit him across the head, the father-in-law, and then Brian tried to intervene. He was chopped several times by the men who fled in the motor car. Of course, you know, Brian lost his life. DJ Viper lost his life as a result. And they're telling us several have been arrested. Very, very sad state of affairs. And we were following this one, folks. We're following this one, and again, the authorities there at CID telling us that the killing of Skinner, right? The killing of this contractor. They said he was known to authorities, but was working in the area of Durban Street at the time when he met his demise. Working there in Durban Street, you know. We told you about this one, my lord. When he was gunned down, he was walking along with a colleague. Some men came up in a vehicle and shot at him. He said he fired 2 shots. And then as he fell to the ground, somebody came out of the vehicle and at close range fired several other shots. Several other shots were fired. Yep. And they tell us that he was hit 12 times. 12 times. Anthony Charles. He was hit 12 times. 4 times in the head alone. Twice in the back. Whew. Yeah. Wild, wild west in this country now. The wild west. Wild, wild west. And that's the area where Mr. Charles met his demise. Right in front of the car you see parked there. Right there. Met his demise. Durban and Smythe Street. Crime chief telling us that the investigations continue. The investigations into the shooting death, execution style killing of Skittle continues. And that's where we are, folks. Wild, wild west. Keep saying I don't like how the year started. I like it. Moving on, folks. The authorities, Ministry of Housing, Suzanne Rodriguez telling us that 784 informal squatters were regularized for 2022. Drink some tea here. I had to take some gulps there. 784 informal squatters regularized. 784. But what we found interesting in this article is the fact that none of the squatter settlements were named. None of them. Maybe that can cause little disruption to social cohesion. As Edgel said, if you name the roads, it will cause disruption to social cohesion. Maybe the naming of the settlements too. When you see who they're squatting and where they got land. Right? All they're telling us 784, but they don't like to give the details. Not one settlement was named. Not Charity, not Region 6. None of the settlements were named. 784 informal settlers, squatters, regularized. That's what they want us to believe. But they're a little thin on the details. A little thin on the details. And then we got this bit out of GCOM, folks. Stiffer penalties, they tell us, for registration fraud. And there has been a change in the law. Right? There's a change in the law that we want to bring to your attention. You know, it used to be you have to get regularized some specific times. Not so anymore. You could be, what did I say? Regularized. Register. Same thing. You have to be registered some specific times. GCOM says no. It's not so. A part of the report says, let me make sure that I'm quoting it correctly. I don't want to give you information that isn't credible and valid. Part of the information says that persons could see themselves being fined up to $5 million. Could see themselves being fined up to $5 million. Fined up to $5 million You hear? Among other things, fined up to $5 million, placed in prison for up to 5 years if you commit registration offenses, such as providing false information to the Guyana Elections Commission so as to fraudulently obtain and use an ID card. Here's some people name calling right away. Right away. Right? And this statement that came out of GCOM says that previously persons could have applied only for new registration and changes or corrections to their particulars during specific periods determined by GCOM, such as during a cycle of continuous registration or claims and objections. Right? Now, because of the amendment to the National Registration Act, because of the amendments to the Act, Chapter 1908, just in case for those of you who like the details, Chapter 1908, GCOM is now mandated to facilitate registration transactions throughout the year, with 2 breaks to facilitate the publication and finalization of a valid official list of electors. So basically, all year round, you can now be registered for your ID card because of this change in the law. All year round, you can be registered now. You hear? I know, especially for those folks in the diaspora, sometimes you come home and you want to update your ID card and so on, but you come in the wrong time. Right? This might benefit some of you. You come the wrong time, you see? And benefit some of you. And that's coming out of GCOM, folks. That's one of the things coming out of GCOM. Yep. That being said, folks, as we move forward, other things brewing in the 592. Sidney Allicock, former Minister of Indigenous Affairs, he says some of this money coming from carbon credits. You see, the indigenous people should have direct control. What is happening? They claim they're going to consult with our indigenous brothers and sisters to know what these money should be spent on. That's the claim. But as Sabbath News pointed out quite recently, the government has a terrible track record, this administration, when it comes to consulting with people. Very bad track record. But Allicock is saying that this money should be at the disposal of the indigenous peoples themselves to determine what they want to spend it on. Right? These big people, you got to come, we got to tell you, we need a tell paper, you got to run to the shop, buy and bring. These big people. Some of the monies that are set aside for the indigenous communities should be managed by the communities themselves. That's one of the points that Allicock was making quite recently on a program that they appeared on, Guyana Business Journal and Magazine. It's a panel discussion. See, the people should be able to decide for themselves what they want to do with their money. Right? It should be under their stewardship. You see? I think you may have a point. I think Sydney might actually have a point. But that's one of the things that the brewing, that we're following. You know, the question has to be asked, like, why you always got to go and give a handout? Give people the tools, you know, to fish. Teach them to fish. And then allow them, well, you don't have to teach our indigenous brothers and sisters to fish. But the tools to do it. Allow them to flourish. You know, this black bag mentality, we got to change it. You know, there were some handouts, you know. Hamper Nation. That being said, folks, yeah. We were talking about infrastructure when we started. The Burma Access Road was recently completed And folks are amazed at the state of the road currently, already falling apart. And we're going to be talking about this issue in particular. So more about it in a subsequent program. Cracks, huge cracks have begun to appear in the road already. Already, huge cracks in the road there. Burma Road. Right. So I don't know if some friend or family get this one. Some friend or family get it. They know nothing but road. Fitzherbert Jarrett, good morning to you. Good morning, Chief. People who understand road and engineering and so on, they don't do this foolishness. But friends and family, when friends and family step in, then you know the problems you got in your hand. When the friends and the family step in, then you know the issues you got in your hand. The road, well, they're saying now the contractor will correct the defects. Shouldn't happen in the first place. Should not have been allowed to happen in the first place. I said, should not have been allowed to happen in the first place. Loretta Argyle, Roderick Henry, should not have been allowed to happen. And then the big issue, folks, we said the justice system is not working for a lot of people, perhaps the majority of people in this country. The justice system not working for them at all. Yesterday, some comments are attributed to the Chancellor. My Lord, such an indictment on the administration, such an indictment. You know, Chancellor said they're tired waiting for the Judicial Service Commission to be appointed. They need more judges. They need relief. More judges need to be appointed. They want to do the work. But with the few judges they are, the Chancellor said it's become so overwhelming. Well, your boy Anil says that the chronic delay in the justice system is going to be addressed. The chronic delay in the justice system is going to be addressed. When? Who knows? But the Chief Justice said a couple of things yesterday. The Chancellor acting said a couple of things. I was to draw to your attention. And I want to quote verbatim what the Chancellor said. Right? This was the opening of the law year 2023 yesterday. Chancellor of the Judiciary. Right? What the Chancellor said, I want to rehearse some of it for you good folks. You have heard, the Chancellor said, the call for more resources, human resources in particular. We need more judges. We need the Judicial Service Commission to be established ASAP. As soon as possible. We need the Judicial Service Commission to be established ASAP. As soon as possible. We are facing increased loads. Judges are now overburdened. They are exhausted. They are nearly worn out. And they are in some cases burned out. 3 years in, 3 years in a holding pattern. We're in a holding pattern. But folks could fly to Indian private jet. Already pretends they're doing so much work here. And they're all nice and good. And here's the Chancellor of the Judiciary begging, for fresh legs on the field. And all you can get is coming soon. The Chancellor went on to say, we have had psychologists come in and do a psychosocial therapy with the judges. Psychosocial therapy, especially during COVID-19. But that in itself cannot help, the Chancellor said. We need to have more persons on board to assist us in carrying out our mandate of providing justice. That, folks, is an indictment on the current administration. It is an indictment. The folks who claim they know so much, doing so much, double-digit growth and all. Here's the Chancellor saying, the justice system in this country has to deliver its mandate providing justice. But we need help. And 3 years, the help is still coming. The justice system still waiting for help. People are waiting legal advice and awaiting the judgments and the written judgments. Isn't it the great civil rights leader Martin Luther King who says, justice too long delayed is justice denied? Justice too long delayed. And here's its Chancellor again saying, right? We need the Judicial Service Commission to be established. We need the Judicial Service Commission to be established. What is preventing this government from establishing the Judicial Service Commission? Huh? What? That's the Chancellor. Right? She said judges are overburdened, exhausted, nearly worn out, and in some cases, burned out. That's the Chancellor. That is the Chancellor, folks. The Chancellor speaks. I hope them boys listening. I hope them boys listening because you know they got a listening problem. I hope they're listening. We hope they're listening. That is going to do it for us this morning, folks. Our time with you. That is going to do it for us at this end. Good to see you, Wanda and Glenford, Orwindon. Still waiting. Candidate Leland Jeet. Seymour George, Annette Cummins. Still waiting. Candy said the PPC 666. Could I quote you on that? M-Lock Grant, we see you, M-Lock. M-Lock Grant, justice too long delayed. Luther King says, justice denied. Tommy Gibbs, Ingrid King, we see you, folks. Candidate Leland Jeet, we see you as well. Great to have each and every one of you here with us, folks. Fantastic having you guys here. That's going to do it for us, guys. We're going to see you later in the day. Stay tuned. Have a fantastic morning, guys. And we wish Rena Cummins a speedy recovery. She's a little under the weather, folks. We wish her a speedy recovery. Before you go, folks, before you go, hundreds of you watching our broadcast, hundreds of you, why don't you share that live for us? You know, as we want others to get valid and credible information. Share the live, good folks. Smash that emoji button. Let me go down the road. Share, 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 share the live. Before you go, let's start the day right. On the right note. Smash that emoji button as well for us. Please do, folks. Share the live. Good to have you, Owen Cook, Joel Ward, Beatrice Selby, Faith Fort, and all you folks who are joining us. Good to have each and every one of you with us, good folks. Have a fantastic morning. Take it easy out there. Take it easy out there, good folks. Right? Y'all got me looking thin. They got over 500 folks watching us on Facebook alone. Right? Folks, take a second, and before you go, share the broadcast for us. That's going to do it for us. Stay safe out there, guys. Stay safe. We're going to see you guys.